You guys disguised yourselves as members of the famous publishing local, all the local criers and printing presses. They share the stories of medieval town and villages, MTV, and you specifically were from the publication Mansions with a Z. You were here to do some reporting on his beautiful mansion. And you guys wore a mask that was given to you by Thistle that converted Doc into an old, frail woman who posed as the owner of Mansions. And so you guys got into his home and started investigating. And you guys had gathered some key information which really proved that he was, in fact, not telling you guys the whole truth and was being somewhat nefarious. And then he caught on, turned into a monstrous undead creature, and battle ensued. Just as you guys killed him and one of his people, his loyal cook, you guys were then met by the guards, who fortunately believed you and were taking you back to the guardhouse to help figure out more of what was going on. When, of course, as you were hoping the dust was beginning to settle, alas, it did not. And as you came back down the hill from where the nobleman's house was, you saw a strange, dark ship approaching. Okay, so the camera follows this butterfly as we have this great movie-style transition to our next scene here, and we now find ourselves over. I think, Doc, we were going to go back to. I think we're going to end our day at the tavern, dealing with that. So first, let's go back to the church, and there's an archival area in the church, and the Father Orms. Got his assistant that manages there, and this is his name is this is his. I guess depends on the religion. I'm gonna say it's his wife. That this isn't a type of clergy where they have to be celibate, and so this is his wife, Mother Worm, and she runs the archival library, and so she comes out, and as you guys enter, she says, "Hello, dearies." I'm gonna basically, like, if you're listening to a podcast, like 2x speed is the speed that I'm gonna be speaking. Know that she's actually speaking much slower. But Mother Worm comes out and she says, "How can I help you?"
I'm looking for a few books. First probably is the easiest one. If you could point me to your section on artifice, if you have any artificer skill, I don't know what you'd call them, skill books, informational books on that, perhaps things that have been loaned out to students in the past. And then additionally, your local history books, in particular towards undead, undead happenings, attacks from the ocean, that sort of variety.
Great. You notice two things about her. One is Father Orm was about the size of a normal human. She is massive. And so she is like where it says library, the room to the library, you just see her head like sticking out through the door. And as you kind of peer in, you don't see any books. You just see her and her massive shell kind of filling this large library room. And so she says, "Okay, give me just a moment." And she retracts into her shell, and you just hear like rummaging and things being knocked over, and maybe 5 minutes later, you hear you see her head stick back out. She says, and she kind of spits out of her mouth a small pile of books, and there's a book there that says Engineering for Dummies, and it's got a picture of like a robot on the front that's got like a little light bulb above its head. And and then a book that says, "So you think you might be undead?" and top 5 ways to know if you or your loved one might be getting inflicted with necrotic forces. I think these might do the trick.
Do you have any tomes of the history of Porto Luz?
Oh, the history of Porto Luz.
Yes.
Hold on. And she disappears back into her shell. And hear more and more rummaging, and this time it's like pots and pans are falling over, and you hear some other conversation is happening in there, and some other person's like, oh. She comes back. I think you'd be looking for this, and she again kind of spits out this massive, like 400-page long tome that captures, and it's like written in this like handwritten cursive script, and it's written by Carl Longbottom, adventurer extraordinaire, experience in and around Porto Luz. This is a famous journalist who has, and it's all of his records of everything he discovered during his time in Porto Luz and what he recorded about it.
So she would recognize the name.
Yeah, this would be, as far as you're concerned, this guy's like journalistic celebrity. He's like, he's dead, but he's like, people think of him like, you know, no one else in the party would maybe have ever heard of him, but to you, this guy's like pretty famous and special to get to read his handwritten records.
She lets out a little like kitty squeal of excitement, and of course there's just this massive book and then the other 2 books on top, so I imagine the stack's maybe like this big.
Right. Yeah, you look like when the junior hire gets all their books for like the first day of high school and they're trying to carry it all around.
Because she's a little small and she's just like trying to lug it. She's like, okay, I'm good, guys. And then she turns around to the giant turtles like, thank.
Does anybody else have any books or information that they wanted to ask for while you're here with Mother Worm?
I was just gonna ask, so we're going sailing on the ocean.
Oh, sailing. Yes, one of my favorite things to do.
And I don't know how to sail.
Oh, well,
you
it's easy. You just lay on your back and float.
Oh, I can't do that. I don't have that amazing shell like you. But are you able to give me a book that covers all of would Ez know the name of the ocean?
Yeah, this is the Sapphire Sea.
Okay. Do you have a book on all of the wildlife and plants that can be found in the Sapphire Sea, or at least that have been identified up until this point?
That's a good question. Let me go look. Any other books you guys want me to check for while I'm checking for this? I'll go take a look. Any other books you guys wanted?
Doc would one, as is asking her that question, be just like hands raised and like a what am I chop liver situation. But he just kind of shakes that off and then says, anything about the jewels and the situation? Like he wants to know more about the history of like he would say, I want to know more about the history of these jewels that protect Porto Luz. Those are older than him at this point, correct?
Yeah. Crestpont was founded like 1,000 years ago. Yeah, this is ancient history.
So he wants to know more about those things because he hasn't really studied that. He's kind of taken it for granted.
Great. Okay. What about you, Ghana? This seems like this would be your like happy place.
I'm sure it is, but player can't really think of anything right this second.
Do you just follow her inside of her shell? I just want to look. I just want to take just a quick look.
Ghana's just like thumbing through like the spines of the books, looking for things.
Okay, so she retreats back into her shell, and you guys just see the empty opening where she is through the hole, and she's looking around and comes back out, and she spits out a few final books. One is a book for you, Doc, that's a history of powerful wards and mythals, and in Crespon. So very, very helpful. And then for you, as she spits out 2 books, one is a book about the all of the jetsam and flotsam that you might find in the Sapphire Sea. Top 10, and in the subtext says, wildlife number 8 is going to blow your mind. And then the other book that she spits out is a book that says, so you don't have a shell, but maybe you want one. And it's written by a famous alchemist that helps people grow shells. And she just kind of like looks at the book and looks at you and kind of winks and is like, just in case you want to have a shell in the future, it seemed like maybe. And then she's just, anyway, I'm awful tired, but if you guys need anything else, I'm always here to help. Just remember, if you don't return those books, I will eat your arms and legs off. So please be sure to bring those back within, a reasonable amount of time. And if they get destroyed or lost or anything, no big deal. Just hopefully you don't need your limbs, and we'll be all good. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Player loves this character. This character's great.
Excellent.
She
Okay.
and
Just
the
leans over the
Applebottom
dock.
would have
He's like,
gotten on so well.
She would have gotten along with Applebottom.
Of all of the places that you could have chose of to settle down, why here?
Why?
Why not?
You were asking Doc that?
Yeah.
Great. So you guys leave the church, and she just kind of sets her head down on the ground as you guys leave, and she falls asleep. And you guys head to the guardhouse where you find Cheryl and Shirley. I keep getting her name, Shirley. And she says, Shirley, you've had a good day finding supplies and things that you need. You're just in time. We were just getting ready to, what's the polite way to say it? Talk to our 2 prisoners here. And you see behind her, there's this massive guard. He's wearing like a black hood, and he's got like pliers and daggers and all kinds of, and like some kind of thing that looks like maybe it like shocks people or something. And he just like holds all these like sharp kind of pointy bloody objects up and has like this giddy smile on his face. She's like, yes, Glorg over there was just getting ready to go and have a conversation to see what information we could get. I recall you mentioned you wanted to be able to watch from the adjacent room and see what they say.
Yes,
please.
Great. Okay. So she leads you guys into a room. You go down this long series of stairs down into a cellar, and there's like this dungeon area. And there's a room that she takes you guys into, and it's dimly lit with like one torch. And there's these metal bars, and through the metal bars you can see it into the room next door. And it's this damp cellar, stone room. And it's got a couple of lanterns in there, or like torches in there as well. And you see Glorg walks in, and Shirley is behind him. And she approaches the 2 prisoners who are both handcuffed to this big stone table. And Glorg lets out like a little gleeful, like giddy noise as he rolls out this leather bundle of all of these tools. And she says, look, surely you guys don't want to have to deal with this. And Glorg's like, no, I think they do, ma'am. I'm pretty sure they do. She's like, no. I'm sure you guys would like to be able to talk. So I'm going to give you that chance. I want you guys to tell me everything you know. And they both look at her, and they just spit on the ground. They say, we're not telling you nothing. These noblemen talk a lot like they're not noblemen. And she says, all right, well, I suppose we only have one way. We're going to use... and she takes out a book. She's like, we just got the book this morning. We don't often have to have these kinds of conversations with people here. And so I got this book from Mother Worm. It top 10 ways to get information from someone that you need to get information from. And, number 6 here was really surprising to me. It said incredible pain. It seems to be the best way to do it. And so that's pretty much what we're going to go with. Glorg over here seems pretty excited about it. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And Glorg reaches down and grabs what looks like, it's like basically like what you'd use to massage your back, but it's just covered in like giant spikes. And he's like, let's go ahead and start with this. I'm so excited. Here we go. And he goes around, and unless any of you guys want to stop them, they're going to basically start to try to torture information out of these guys.
First off, can I just say I love how like corporatized this is? That was just fantastic. I love how it seemed like it was an orientation, like they just got a job. Like HR was talking to them about this. It was great. That was great. But no, as would kind of like. As would he'd kind of like raise his hand. To, like, try to
Shirley's like, hold on, Glorg. Yes, child.
You guys, you know you don't have to. Could I just talk to them?
She flips through the book and she's like, oh yeah, I guess I should have kept reading. Chapter 8 says, talk to them convincingly. Can you do that? Can you talk to someone persuasively?
People tend to do things when I ask them to.
Glorg is like looking at you very irritated. And she's like, it does say if you do that first, then you can still do the other thing later, and the other way around doesn't work very well.
Yeah, if I fail, you can just kill them.
Fair enough.
It hurts.
Glorg stepped down, and he just sits on the ground, just like right where he is, just completely deflated. And you hear like a little whimper of sadness. And just looks at you angry, like a child that's had its toys taken away. She says, "Okay, you can come on around, and I'll give you a chance to talk to them."
As he's passing Ghana, be like, I don't like torture. It disgusts me.
You say like you know, like you've done, like you have experience with it.
Maybe he's just seen it.
It's an ominous thing to say. Great. Okay, so you head into the room.
Yeah, and in the room. I just gotta read something real quick here, because I always forget, because there's always like a paragraph of text with it.
We're gonna say you've got Butch and Cassidy are the two noblemen that are sitting here behind the table, so and they're just kind of sneering at you.
He's gonna raise his hand again. Can I just talk to one of them first? Can you take the other one away? I just want to talk to one. It helps when they're not together, because it's harder to break them.
Yes, in chapter 8 it says the dating game. That's great. Okay, we'll try that. And she takes Cassidy out of the room and just leaves Butch there.
So Ez is gonna talk to Butch, and he's gonna of course use words of terror. He's gonna seed this idea in his head that if he isn't forthcoming to give as the information that he's asking, that what's the gentleman's name again with the toys?
Butch. Oh
no,
Glorb.
That he's gonna come back in and torture him, revive him, torture him, etc., etc., etc. So, if he wishes to be released unharmed, it is in his best interest to help Ez out.
Great.
So he needs to make a wisdom save. Okay, all right. So he is now frightened of this for the next hour.
Okay.
So Ez is going to... He's going to switch things up. He's going to do two separate things. He's going to start by being persuasive. Okay. Asking him questions of, and did the party kind of go through what it was? Would Ghana have said like some of the things he wanted to ask, or would Ghana be in there with him, or?
Well, Ghana said he just wanted to be there during the interrogation in case there were questions that he thought of that he needed answered.
Okay, so then Ez is just gonna go off the cuff. He's gonna first try to persuade him to tell him about.
He would have told you what the information that he's initially looking for, though, which is, do they know who he made the deal with? Like, we know that he got the rings for stealing the gem, but who did he get the rings from, and who did the gem go to?
So then that would be Ez's first question he would want answered, but he would start with persuasion. He's kind of going to try like a good cop, bad cop situation, and he's going to start with persuasion.
So, yeah, roll for persuasion with advantage.
Okay. Persuasion. I know how letters work. It's alphabetical. There we go. Persuasion. So that is a dirty 20.
Okay. So you're asking him something along the lines of like, where did you guys get the rings from? Who was Lord Calves dealing with, right?
Yeah.
Like, who did he make
trying to
this deal
find
with?
their like supplier.
He like just blurts out, almost like seeming like it surprises himself. He's like, from the Lich? What do you mean from the Lich? He was cagey about it, but we all knew it was some kind of strange undead monster from across the ocean. Came and made a deal with him and said if he would help him get in through the mythal, break the ward, that he would give him these rings that made us all so strong. I mean, what are you talking about? Of course, it was the Lich.
And then Ez is gonna then ask, tell me everything. He's gonna switch up now to the bad cop, and he's gonna try and intimidate him. Tell me everything you know about the Lich, because if we don't find and kill this Lich, the Lich will come find you and do horrid things to you that not even, I keep forgetting his name, is going to do to you. Glorb.
Well, here's the thing about Gorg. Every time anyone refers to him, his name just sounds a little bit different. Just kind of guttural.
It's just more of a sound than a name.
Yeah, I think maybe no one really knows what his name for sure is. They just kind of make that. They just know that if they kind of grunt in his direction, he knows to come. So, anyway, yeah. Okay, so you kind of threaten him and intimidate him into trying to get him to tell you everything he knows about the Lich?
Yeah, so kind of switching up from the good cop to the bad cop. You know, he wants to help him, now he's threatening him.
Great. Okay, yeah, go ahead and roll for intimidation then.
Is it still at advantage?
Yeah, advantage on intimidation because this guy's terrified.
And that is, dang, low rolls, but it's an 18. I'll take it.
Okay, yeah, 18 will work. Unfortunately, he doesn't know a lot, so he's like, look, Lord Calves, he was real cagey about it, and even then, I don't think he really knew. It's just this shadowy figure that met him out on the shores over by where because he couldn't come in all the way to the town, so he would go way out there on the shores, and this figure would come across the ocean. All we know is he came from somewhere over in the direction of those Velcorin Islands, and that's about it. He was creepy and gnarly looking dude, and we didn't think he was gonna. I guess we didn't really know what he was gonna do, but he never said he was gonna attack. He just said he wanted to get in here and that he would help us and give us power, and that's all we wanted. So, anyway, we just know he couldn't get in before, and he was able. He seemed to wield quite a bit of power, and he came from far away in the direction of those Velcorin Islands over there.
So Ez is gonna kind of turn around and look at Ghana to see if there were any follow-ups to those questions or answers to the questions.
DM question: is the Velcorin Islands the islands that me and Doc saw in the vision?
Yeah.
There was 7 rings or 6 rings?
Of the rings, there was one.
We found 3, but the box had X number of slots.
Oh yeah.
We never officially opened the box in this version that we did.
Yeah. So you guys don't know for sure how many rings.
No, you open the box because you're like, hey,
No,
I have this one. Yeah, because you
took
him.
one out of
You're
the
like,
box.
hey, I've got this.
Yeah, but
okay.
we never discussed what I really saw in there. It was like she just
Oh.
opened it, took out the ring, and was like,
Oh,
it
okay.
wasn't really investigated or kind of paid attention
Okay,
to.
then
Got it.
how many
Fair enough.
rings?
There were, you guys maybe would know this because since then Shirley would have been doing some investigation. So there were 6 slots, and so 4 of those went to Calves and his people. One of those seems to have been it was the one that he threw across the room when you guys were fighting him, and it didn't work out very well. And then so there was one left that was still in the box that hadn't been used for anyone and hadn't been touched.
So we
So-
have possession
but
of
all
the
6
rings.
are accounted. Yeah, all of them are accounted
okay.
for. None of them have been lost.
Ez is then going to ask next, and he's going to again intimidate with the same concept, that he's kind of running with because it's been working. Where is the stolen? You said it was a crystal, a diamond, a gem, the stolen gem.
Yeah,
was
stolen
taken.
gem. He says, "Look, you could torture me all you want, but you can't squeeze blood from a stone. I don't know. I don't know. This is something that totally Lord Calves did all on his own. I couldn't tell you even if I wanted to. I'm a stone that you can't squeeze blood from, and that's the truth." That's a
Doc
quote
would,
from the Muppets.
Doc would, since they're all there, would direct Ez to ask him, "Do you know how Lord Calves got this stone?"
So doing that, Ez is gonna a little. It's you tell his demeanor, like Ez is trying to fight almost this like primordial enjoyment of this.
Mm.
And you notice that like this illusion he's like innately casting, like he's not thinking about it, he just is, but like minor illusion, and Graw just appears in front of this guy to just be extra just mean. Like he's already intimidated and feared, but he's doing it anyway, and he's gonna ask him exactly what Doc told him to ask, and he's just gonna lean into it a little more.
Roll for intimidation with advantage.
That is a 26.
You see Butch see this massive phantasmal bear appear in the room, and you kind of lean in, and he just sees this look of intensity in your eyes, and he is so scared he just completely falls silent, and he like is stuttering and trying to answer, and he just can't form words, and he's like his mind is just getting like shaken like jelly, and he just can't form a complete thought. And you just see him start to stutter and kind of looking around the room, and he's like completely gone mad in this moment and can't compose himself.
Ez just kind of like shakes himself back too and just like looks back at Doc. Sorry.
Go get the other one.
Dang, bro, that's hard.
Ez just like
It's the equivalent of just reloading your gun.
More or less, that's
well,
what
but the
Doc's
thing
thinking.
is, as when he asked for the other one to come in, he's gonna just leave the one that's like mind has just been broken in the room to add to the intimidation to the next guy. To show like what could happen if he doesn't listen.
So Glorb comes in and takes the guy who's now kind of insane and just kind of pushes him off to the side. He just kind of like balling himself up in a corner, and he's just whimpering, and they bring Cassidy back in, and he sees Butch just like balled up in a corner. He's like, oh my goodness. And so now, and he's like, look, whatever you want to know, just ask it. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just, what do you need?
Well, I appreciate you not struggling, because unfortunately I'm very good at this. I'm not happy that I'm good at this, but for some reason I am. So thank you for just, working with me on this.
Yeah. Look, I just sell textiles, and I just got caught up in all. Look, I'm not a bad guy.
I
I
mean,
just want to get out of this.
I'll put it this way, whether you're a textile worker, whether you run a kingdom, brains all break the same way. We're all the same. But
he's just
I need
looking
to
at you like
know-
friggin' Two-Face before he's Two-Face, looking at the Joker. Like,
he's like, I need to know. Insert Doc's question here that Boots forgot.
you were asking how he got the gem?
How he got the gem? Like,
Yeah,
what,
that is
what
it.
did he
That
do
is
to
it. That's
get
what
the
he's asking.
gem?
That's what he's asking. Okay.
He's like, look, I don't fully know. All I know is one night he said he had to handle something to make good on his deal, and he became that horrible creature that we all had to become, and he left and he was gone for the whole night. I didn't see him. He came back and he was exhausted and beaten and battered, and he looked like he'd traveled really far, and he just collapsed in the foyer, and we dragged him into his room and let him rest, and he woke up a few days later and we never heard about it again. So I don't, that's all I know.
And is that, are you telling me the truth? I hate to have my friend talk to you.
And he just like, he hasn't been able to take his eyes off of Butch the whole time. He's just looking at Butch, and he's like, "That's everything. Just let us go. Let's go back to our cells. Anywhere out of this room. Just let us out of here. That's all I know."
I think Doc would put his hand on Ez's shoulder and say that's enough.
And Ez just kind of like shakes again, like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't like that I'm good at this. And he's just gonna kind of like walk out of the room.
These guys seem pretty drained of all the information they had and exhausted. You guys walk out. Shirley and Gorg are both looking at you, and Gorg is like, "Bro, that was pretty dark." And Shirley's like, Thank you guys. I'll let you be on your way." And you guys head back to Doc's Tavern to kind of end the evening. And as you guys kind of gather yourselves and prepare yourselves for your journey, you're back at the tavern, putting things away. And I think the scene that we'll kind of end on for tonight is as you guys are, putting the chairs back, trying to do some basic repairs. Doc, maybe you're giving some direction to Frank on how to care for the place while unless you want to ask him to come with you. But you're trying to make arrangements. Are you going to ask Frank to join you on this journey?
I feel like Doc would not want to leave the Doc would ask Frank what he wants to do. I think that they would have a real discussion about it. Like, these are the stakes that are at hand. Doc's. They haven't had a conversation like this for 100 years.
Yeah.
That they would actually really weigh what is the right decision here, and Doc would seriously want Frank's input on this decision.
Frank looks at Doc and says, "I'm loyal to you and to this ship. That's all I've ever known. Give me the night to think about it, and I'll let you know what I'm thinking in the morning."
And Doc just leaves it at that.
So you guys make yourselves busy, just kind of getting things together, trying to do your best to still, you still got some patrons here, and so you're doing your best to still care for those patrons with the limited resources that you have in this wreckage. And I think in that scene, as you guys do that and then head to bed, and you're laying there in your beds, anticipating what tomorrow looks like as you're going to set sail and go try to pursue this lich. Really head out into the unknown in many ways.
Hey guys, my name is Mark and I'm the lead pastor at Lux Digital Church. I hope you're enjoying the D&D campaign, the show today. I hope you're having a great time hanging out with the entire crew. And I also wanted to tell you that over in our Discord server, we have an ongoing Dungeons & Dragons West Marcher style campaign. That means you can jump in and play at any time that is convenient for you, as long as there's a game being offered with a variety of different dungeon masters and players. We have games that are posted every single month that you can join in with, starting at level 1 and going the whole way up through level 15 in D&D in the new 2024 5th edition rules. If you're interested in joining in and playing some D&D with us, all you have to do is join our Discord server at discord.gg/luxdigitalchurch, and then go ahead and grab the D&D rule, slide down inside of the channels to the Play D&D section. You can look there and find different videos on character creation, different elements of the world that we're playing in, and then you can submit your character and jump in and adventure off of the guild board soon. Once again, I hope you've been enjoying the show and the live stream, and we hope to see you over in the Lux Discord to play D&D with us very soon.